Now, from the bleachers to the end zones, gridirons up and down the coast. Live, the 40th season of Friday Football Focus.
All right, nothing better than the CIF High School Football Playoffs. Welcome to the postseason edition of Friday Football Focus. I am Mike Clem. We got games from SoCal to Fresno, but we're going to kick it off in Santa Barbara, La Playa Stadium. Tom Crawford's Bishop Diego Cardinals hosting San Jacinto in a first-round Division IV game. Opening possession of the game, the visiting Tigers drive deep in Bishop territory. 4th and 2, they fumble the ball, scramble for it, and Bishop Diego's Sam Bodecker coming up with it, and a super sophomore going to have a scoop and score from 83 yards out. It's almost like a 14-point switch. San Jacinto knocking on the door. Instead, Bishop Diego up 7-0. That was the score after one quarter. But San Jacinto had a strong physical running attack that gave the Cardinals problems. Jimini Ransom with a hard 7-yard touchdown run to tie the game at 7. Still in the second quarter, the Tigers taking the lead. This time it's a freshman, Kingsley Tivao, breaking free. He sprints 43 yards to the end zone. They get the two-point conversion to go up 15-7. Late first half, Bishop Diego gets a nice drive going. Tua Rojas scrambling out of the pocket. He's going to rifle the ball downfield to John Michael Flynn, who makes a juggling catch for a big gain into Tigers territory. Oscar Maia taking the handoff. He goes up the middle for a good chunk of yards and a Cardinals first down. But on 3rd and goal from the 7, the Tigers, Ronnie McCauley breaks up the pass. Bishop had to settle for 4, and they make a short field goal by Diego Cortez. They trailed 23 at the half. That was the same score at the end of the third quarter. Bishop Diego rallied to send the game into overtime, where they lost a heartbreaker, 30-29. Cards had an extra point block that would have won it in regulation after they tied it at 23, and they can't get the two-point conversion in overtime. Bishop Diego finishes up 8-3. All right, staying in D4, it's a Marmani League rematch between St. Bonaventure and Oaks Christian. Bonnie shut out the Lions 19-0 3 weeks ago. That game was in Ventura, this one in Westlake Village at Oaks. Defense ruled this game as expected. Every time the teams were getting close to the goal line, the defense would respond, at least for most of the game. Bonnie driving, Jeremiah Barrios inside the 5 with this run, but led to only a field goal. Oaks Christian, Deshaun Rideau taking the ball near the goal line, but Oaks would turn the ball over on downs. Sonny Jones did boot 2 field goals in the first half. Lions led 6-3 at the break. All right, opening kickoff of the second half, St. Bonaventure's number 2, Tony Dargan. Nice fake exchange, and he gets upfield for a huge gain. Again, St. Bonaventure had to settle for a field goal, 6-6. Oaks Christian would pull this game out and win it 16-13, so they get revenge. The Lions will meet Paraclete next. All right, now to the CIF Central Section playoffs, where 2 San Luis Obispo County schools squaring off in a Division IV first-round game. Atascadero at Nipomo. Friday Football Focus senior reporter Dave Alley was on the field for the highlights.
Mike, this is the only playoff game to feature 2 teams from the Central Coast Athletic Association. That's all the large schools in northern Santa Barbara County and San Luis Obispo County. As for Nipomo and Atascadero, they're only separated geographically by 40 miles, but they don't play very often. This will mark just the 5th all-time meeting between the 2 programs. All-time series tied 2-2 coming in. It was 7-0 at halftime in the second half. Both offenses break loose. Third quarter, Nick Evans, who had a big game, goes in from 6 yards out. Nipomo up 14-0. Just a couple plays later, though, Hounds get the ball into the hands of their big back, Damon Mitchell. Comes through the line like he's shot out of a cannon in a huge burst of speed. Touchdown to Atascadero. They would then later tie it up in the 4th, 14-all. In the 4th, it's Evans again finding the end zone. That made it 21-14 Nipomo. With the Hounds answer back, just over 3 minutes left in the game, it's Mitchell again with another touchdown. PAT tied up the game 21 apiece. Nipomo then drove the ball down the field, had a chance to win it with 9 seconds to go, but the kick blocked by Mitchell, who was sensational tonight. We would go to overtime, tied at 21. Both teams scored in the first OT, moved to the second. It's Evans again getting the ball, and another touchdown, his 3rd of the game, 35-28 Nipomo. Hounds respond back a few plays later. Mitchell one more time takes it across the goal line. That made it 35-34 Titans. Hounds decide to go for 2 in the win. Of course, they go to Mitchell, but it's Everett Wilkinson, Trevor Oxley, and a couple of Titan teammates putting up a wall, and Mitchell is stopped just short of the goal line. That's how this one ends. Nipomo survives and advances, winning a nail-biter, beating Atascadero in double overtime, 35-34. So Nipomo wins an absolute thriller, really one of the best high school football games I've seen in many, many years. Up next, they'll be on the road in Reedley to take on second-seeded Emmanuel next Friday. For Atascadero, they have their season come to an end. They finish up 5-6. In Nipomo, I'm Friday Football Focus reporter Dave Alley. Back to you, Mike.
All right, Dave, I know you enjoyed that one. What a goal line stand it was. Staying in Division 4, Ynez put out the welcome mat for the Dos Palos Broncos. Ynez's Grayson Foy getting the carry to the outside for about 10 yards. The drive would stall. That was the theme early on. Dos Palos passing for a nice gain. Quentin Herrera's Jesus Bond for about 30 yards, no points from it. Pirates, Aiden Finley, good run near midfield, pick up about 22 yards. Quentin Herrera downfield to Billy Scott, Billy the Kid, 40 yards deep into Ynez territory near the 20-yard line. And finally we get some points. Andres Flores, 7-0 visitors. Broncos were threatening again, but the Pirates get defensive. Diego Polito, call his name a lot this year with the pick and a good return upfield. And then the Pirates also blocked a field goal attempt in this game. Aiden Finley did it. But the Broncos, no stopping them here. Quentin Herrera to Jesus Bond, 60 yards for the touchdown. It was 14-0, and that's the way it finished up. Ynez finishing the year at 6-5. Now to Division 2 in the Central section, where 4th-seed Arroyo Grande earned a home game against number 13 Sunnyside from Fresno. The Rooster, Kevin Roos, posted up in AG, has our action.
Thanks, Mike. Fresh off their third straight Mountain League title, Arroyo Grande now has their sights set on their first CIF title since 2011. First up, it's the Wildcats of Sunnyside out of Fresno. Winner of this one will advance to the next round of the playoffs. The loser, they'll head home and get an early jump on untangling those Christmas lights. Let's get to the action. The 4th-seeded Eagles come in averaging 41 points per game on offense, while the 13th-seeded Wildcats come in averaging 31, so this was going to be a close game, right? 5 minutes into the first quarter, and it's Miles Thompson getting the call. Number 6 gets 6, and the extra point makes it 7. Eagles striking first. 3 minutes later, Caleb Clark getting by with a little help from his friends, takes the pitch, and then just walks right into the end zone, making it 14-0 Eagles. 28 seconds to go in the first quarter. Jacob Krikowski, like Elsa, gonna let it go, and he finds Leland Dean inside the 10-yard line, moving the chains. Great catch, and then that sets up this play here. Zach Taman, quick little 7-yard run into the end zone, and it's 21-0 AG. Rocking and rolling. Move over to the second quarter. Everything going the Eagles' way tonight, and while the Wildcat was everything going the Eagles' way tonight, but the Wildcats were trying to punt, getting out of their own territory, and Levi Childers falls on it to make it 28-0 Eagles. Head coach Stephen Field loving what he's seeing tonight from his team. 9 minutes to go till the half, and on 1st and 10, Krikowski, little swing pass out to Caleb Clark. Best dynamic duo since Burton Ernie. 39 yards down to the goal line. Next play, Zach Taman goes in easily to give the Eagles a nice, comfortable lead. 35-0 at that point. Then 6 minutes later, here come the Eagles again. It's Miles Thompson again getting into the end zone, and sweet dreams are made of this. 42-0 at that point. AG goes on to win big, 62-14. Eagles will host 5th-seeded Garces Memorial next Friday night in Arroyo Grande. For Friday Football Focus, I'm Kevin Roos. Mike, back to you.
All right, also in D2, San Luis Obispo wins at Lemoore 42-32. They're at Redwood next week. Lompoc losing at Central Valley Christian. Braves are done for the season, and we've got highlights from St. Joseph's game in Fresno next, plus Cabrillo taking on Hoover. Stick and stay, those highlights on the way.